Hi guys, Chris here. We're playing some more World at War. As you can see, the map had near enough started by the time I started this. By the time I got in, fortunately, it was right at the beginning, so I haven't missed any action. It's a little bit different. I think I've seen Pyrotos do this actually, and that's probably where I got the inspiration from back in his old Easy Cap days. And I've gone with the shotgun. I know it's entertaining, if nothing else. So watch it for that. I enjoyed doing it. I've never used a shotgun before, so I don't know if the graphics actually change or the animation changes, but I'll let you know it's not got a grip on it. It's basically vanilla, as is. So enjoy the gameplay. I think I'm gonna follow on this commentary, basically from a previous, to be honest, talking a little bit about the history of my gaming. Basically, I'll probably discuss multiplayer. Yeah, we'll go with that. Multiplayer. Multiplayer, basically, the first experience of multiplayer and heads-up deathmatch probably came with the PSX or the PlayStation 1, and that was with Doom. And a friend of mine, a guy called Carl, unfortunately we're not in touch with each other anymore. You know how life goes, people move on, things change. Anyway, we used to be close buddies, and we used to use I don't know if you know, but the original PlayStation used to have a little socket on the back, and you could buy the cable, and you could link them locally and play heads up 1-against-1 deathmatch. So that was the first experience of it. We used to play Doom. From there, we both moved. We both had PCs, I think, at the time, or shortly after that. I think we both had them at the time. I can't remember the time scale, but it was basically Quake, and that was before server browsers and things like that. We were playing Quake before server browsers. At the first real server browser probably being Quake Spy. You can quote me in the comments if I'm incorrect, but I think it was Quake Spy, which then changed into Game Spy, that has then since gone into something else, I think. But we used to dial up each other's phone numbers using 28k modems, and we used to play heads up deathmatch on Quake. We also used to do deathmatch on the original Duke Nukem. I've not played the new Duke Nukem, but I believe it's terrible. Is the cleanest word I can put for it. I believe it's absolutely terrible. But the original Duke Nukem, as a basically dial-up modem deathmatch game, brilliant. Many hours were wasted, arguably, playing that. Basically from there, because of Quake Spy, and then it turning into Game Spy, the whole online multiplayer genre, it just took off, basically. First-person shooters just basically dominated. So we've played pretty much. I've probably had access to, if not owned, pretty much every first-person shooter since then. So basically, that was where we started. Never a big fan of Quake 2 though, I must admit. I never could get into it, never liked it. Don't think I actually owned it. I own Quake and all its mission packs, Scourge of Armageddon and things like that, and they were just epic and really good. But these were back in the days when, my opinion, as a gamer that's been around for a little while, this is when developers cared about their audience rather than the mighty buck, or the payout at the end. Games appeared to be optimised, and they took time to optimise these things for different users and different types of games and things. And now it just seems to be you've got to have the big rig, and we don't care, to be honest. So yeah, I wouldn't say it was the glory years, but it was very close to it when I first started playing multiplayer. Really enjoyed Quake 3. As I said, I didn't enjoy Quake 2, but really enjoyed Quake 3. But the daddy, as far as I was concerned, and still ultimately playable now, in my humble opinion, is UT, Unreal Tournament. It's stunning, absolutely stunning game. We still play it now. I do have it on a local LAN. Me and my wife still play it. I do set up local servers for friends. I'm fortunate that I keep getting upgrades on my upload, so I can get more and more friends to play it. But we still play, and we still play with the bots. It was the first game really that my wife got into. She's not a big computer fan, doesn't like gaming at all, to be honest, but absolutely loves UT. It's just brilliant. I don't know why, it's brilliant. Domination's epic, and that's where I really got the bug for Domination as my chosen game type. I can't remember what the other one, and Capture the Flag. Capture the Flag with bots, with the wife. That's a good evening in, I'll be honest with you. It's a good alternative to watching a movie. Or it was. But we also play Left 4 Dead now as well, and Left 4 Dead 2, which is another co-op based game. We tend to like co-op based gaming, and I do now. Though I like first person shooters, I've moved on a little bit. I've probably got a little bit older, a little bit slower, a little less competitive, to be honest. And I prefer objective based gaming, whereas obviously back in the day it was all about the kill. You know, oh, you took it in the ass, buddy. The old infamous eat my boomstick. That was a phrase often used while playing Quake. I think it was Team Deathmatch. It was Deathmatch Map 5, I think. I think that was the one. Anyway, so that's where I started multiplayer gaming. And then really from about 2000, I can't remember when returned. Whenever. Well, no, actually before that was Kingpin, and I played that for a good 2 years. If you've not played Kingpin, you probably couldn't play it now, to be honest. But back in its heyday, I used to play a lot on the Blue Yonder servers because I was with Taylor West, which then transpired into, or moved and morphed into Blue Yonder. And they used to run a gaming service, so you could buy credits for and run your own server, so you could use all their bandwidth and things. And we used to play Kingpin on that, and I used to play a mode called Bagman, which was kind of similar to Capture the Flag, but a little bit different because it used to have a little bit of a... But used money, but let's just say if there was like... The big flag was at your base, you had little flags in the middle of the map, and you could make the little flags into big flags. It was basically all about trying to get the money. There was a time limit on it, and I think there was a cash limit, and it was basically the first to whatever the server was set to. Anyway, it was really good. It was a really good objective based game. And then from that I moved on to Battlefield 1942, which took over my life, to be honest. The maps were huge, the weapons were excellent, the era that you were playing in was right down my street. Love World War II and anything associated with that. I am the history the history in yesterday. We have a channel in the UK called, I think it's Yesterday now, it used to be called something else, but I am its biggest fan. So that pretty much dominated my life for quite a while. Return to Castle Wolfenstein and Battlefield 1942, and then there was things like Battlefield 2. Though I put quite a lot of hours into it, I just never really floated my boat. It just didn't work for me. I don't know why. I put about 70, 80 hours into it, but I just never felt it was my game. There was something missing, or I probably just wasn't good enough. But the commander mode on it, I took a lot of enjoyment from playing the commander role. It's very, I don't know how it worked, but you tended not to get it towards the end when I was playing. I think it was down to the level you were at or something like that. It was all voted upon, but I remember quite early on I could get the commander, and I enjoyed that aspect of the game. It was really quite interesting, helping out your team, giving them airdrops and things like that. And then I was quite late to COD. I didn't buy... I had played COD 1 and 2. I just bought them actually in the Steam sale. I never actually bought them before. I had access to them at my mate's house, and I was around there as much as I was at home, to be honest. So it was basically, if he had a game, it was my game as well. We played it that often. So I had played them, and I enjoyed them, but never played the multiplayer at all, to be honest. So I never played COD 4. I know that's sacrilege. So I came to that quite late. It was after, in fact, buying World at War. And I got that through the Steam sale. I think it was about £15 at the time. That was probably about 3 years ago. And I loved it. And I've liked it ever since. I still love picking it up now, even if you don't have a great game. I don't know what it is. It's all of it. All of it together is just great. You know, there's not. You need it all for it to be great. There's no like one aspect that you can say that's the reason why. I think it's the whole package that makes it good. I know a lot of people will disagree, because Treyarch aren't the best or whatever, but I like the game, so that's my 2 pence worth. And then following that, that's when I bought Call of Duty 4. Having played WAW for about a year, I think, and then hearing that Modern Warfare 2 was coming out, I thought I'd play COD 4. I had experienced it in a limited fashion prior to that, and I don't know why I didn't like it. I don't know why. It's probably because I was heavily into Battlefield, and it was different. It was, Battlefield and Modern and COD were, though first-person shooters were totally different in the way they executed their games. But then I started enjoying Call of Duty 4 or Modern Warfare after playing WoW, and then it was basically Modern Warfare 2, and that just dominated my competitive, shall we say, competitive multiplayer. Because obviously prior to that, I'd played nearly exclusively Left 4 Dead. Met some really good friends, formed a clan. I wouldn't say it was a clan, it was more a group of like-minded people that enjoyed playing co-op gaming, and that was called Co-op for Fun, and I really enjoyed that. And then we moved on to Left 4 Dead 2. Left 4 Dead 2 though, it's just my opinion, it's just not the same. It doesn't have the same feel as Left 4 Dead. I don't find it as enjoyable as Left 4 Dead. I can play Left 4 Dead now and still enjoy it. I think it was the characters, the fact that it was new, that it was 4 people co-op, the whole, it was the whole 9 yards basically. Whereas Left 4 Dead 2 for me just felt like an expansion pack. No bad thing. It's still a good game. Valve tend to make excellent games, and taking on its own without a Left 4 Dead, you wouldn't argue. But I think if you've played and enjoyed Left 4 Dead, then you always felt a little bit of a loss playing Left 4 Dead 2. But that's just my opinion, which is totally opposite to my wife. She started after obviously I've mentioned we played UT. I kept nagging. I said, "Come on, play Left 4 Dead with us. It's great. It's really good." Eventually, she succumbed, and I got it in the sale. So she'd played Left 4 Dead 2 right from the get-go, and then experienced Left 4 Dead, and she loves Left 4 Dead 2. And granted, she enjoys Left 4 Dead, but you see, I guess it's like I say, it's down to experience. And what you like, what you don't like. I mean, it's just weird. But yeah, that's just me. I prefer Left 4 Dead. If I got a choice, if somebody's saying, you can only take one of the 2 games, which one are you going to take with you to the desert island, it'd be Left 4 Dead. Whereas my wife would probably take Left 4 Dead 2. Not been playing as much co-op. Left 4 Dead's getting a little bit weak. I can't keep playing it as much as I used to do. I'm not saying I need the competitive side of it. I don't need to kill people in that sense, but I need an objective and something to be grinding out. Which is why, funny enough, we went back to Too Old and I went back to Modern Warfare 2. Probably the reason why I've reinstalled WoW, and why I've just pre-ordered Modern Warfare 3 off Play. Pre-ordered that on Friday. I just need that little bit of an edge to my gaming again, but want the co-op side of it by working the objective, which is what we enjoy. So it's kind of get the best of both worlds, and we're enjoying that. Been doing a few colour commentaries and things, so I hope that's given you a little bit of an insight to my gaming. I gave you previously a bit of hardware, and this is down to some of the games I used to play. Anyway, we're coming to a close here. I hope you enjoy the fact that I was using Shotty Boom Boom. I enjoyed using it. It's not the greatest gun in the world, but it was fun to use, and I did enjoy doing this game. I know it's a defeat, but hey ho, the fun's where it's at. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. Enjoy your gaming. Take care. See you soon. Bye bye.